Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, I'm doing a comparison of the Nexus 4, which was designed by LG and Google, up against the Galaxy S4, which was designed by, well, Samsung. One thing to keep in note before we continue this comparison, I'm not going to give you the exact details of, say, the measurements of each phone. I'm not going to give you the processor model. It's going to get too boring and make this video almost an hour and a half long. If you want to see those exact details, check out the individual in-depth review, or say you want to see a gaming demo on each phone. All those videos, you can find a link to them in the description below. So expand the description, and there you can find the individual in-depth reviews where I go over much more detail. This is just a very, very quick comparison video, just to give you a quick rundown, okay? So let's get into it. In terms of size, if I were to stack them up, you notice that the Galaxy S4 is just slightly longer, just barely longer, not by much. In terms of width, I'm finding them to be practically a tie. The Galaxy S4, you'll notice, is pretty curved at the back. That's why I'm having trouble balancing it. But in terms of width, they're almost the same. In terms of thickness, they're about the same. So the Galaxy S4 is only bigger by millimeters in terms of length or height, whatever you want to call it. In terms of the screen, here's the thing. It's quite surprising how the Galaxy S4 is not that much bigger to the Nexus 4, despite the screen being huge. Here's why. The Nexus 4 has a 4.7-inch screen. The Galaxy S4 has a 5-inch screen, but you'll notice there's next to no bezel here. Even at the bottom, hardly any space is, wasted. Black phone is a Nexus 4, and the white one is the Galaxy S4. Here's the thing. The Nexus 4 has a 720p HD screen. The Galaxy S4 has a 1080p screen. Despite both screens being small compared to like a TV or something, you might be wondering, can you notice a difference? The answer is absolutely yes. I can notice a huge difference. The Nexus 4 screen isn't as clear. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's HD, it's clear. But when you compare it to the Galaxy S4 screen, it's just a huge difference. And one more thing I want to point out is that despite you guys maybe watching this video in 1080p and the Galaxy S4 has a higher HD quality at 1080p, you will not get the full clarity and potential of the screen because YouTube degrades videos for some reason. They just compress them. So in order to get the true potential to see how clear these screens are, it's something you have to do in person. But yeah, you gotta take my word for it, the Galaxy S4 screen is a lot clearer. Alright, so in terms of screen winner, it's easy, Galaxy S4. They both have the same amount of RAM, so it's all good. They have 2 gigs of RAM each. In terms of the processor, again, I'm not going to give you the exact details. Both of them have a quad-core processor, but I'll tell you this right now. When I'm playing very high-intensive graphic games like Modern Combat 4, Need for Speed Most Wanted, these are like the top graphic games you could play. Both of them, they run games equally smooth. And here's why. Despite the Nexus 4 being about 8 months old, I'm assuming that the processor in the Nexus 4 is so powerful still that no game can actually make a struggle to play games. So you won't notice a speed difference when you compare both devices. But on paper, if you look at the specs, the Galaxy S4 is faster. So in the long run, it'll last a lot longer. But for now, they're both just too powerful for any app or any game on Google Play right now. So in terms of general speed performance, right now they're equal. But again, in the future, the Galaxy S4 will last just a little bit longer. So I'm going to say speed-wise, it's a tie. Okay, both of them have NFC chip. The Nexus 4 has an 8 megapixel rear camera with 1080p recording at 30 frames per second and a front-facing 1.3 megapixel camera, which is absolutely horrible. Actually, both cameras on the Nexus 4 are bad. Rear and front, they're both terrible. The Galaxy S4 has a 13 megapixel rear camera. Again, both the front and back record at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and the front-facing camera on the Galaxy S4 is 2 megapixels. So despite it having more megapixels, that doesn't really make a difference in real life testing when it comes to cameras. But I can tell you this, that the Galaxy S4 camera just completely demolishes the Nexus 4 camera. I never liked the Nexus 4 camera, it's not that great. The Galaxy S4 is the clear winner in terms of camera performance. When it comes to battery life, the Nexus 4 has a 2100 milliamp, I think it's lithium polymer battery, and it's non-removable. You can't take the battery out of the Nexus 4. The Galaxy S4 has a 2600 milliamp removable lithium ion battery, so you can take the battery out. So basically, you have 500 more milliamps in the Galaxy S4 battery. And I can say that in practical testing, if I use both phones, if I make phone calls for about an hour and 15 minutes and I have the screen on for about an hour and a half, The Nexus 4 will die in about 24 hours, whereas the Galaxy S4 will last roughly a day and a half, which is approximately 36 hours. So in terms of battery life, the Galaxy S4 is a lot better. Both of them have the usual connectivity, Bluetooth, GPS, Wi-Fi, DLNA, playback on your media device or your smart TV, whatever. Now, in terms of general feel, to hold, I'm going to say they're both plastic bodies, But I'm going to say the Nexus 4 is slightly better, mainly because if you look at the edges, it goes straight, then straight at diagonal, and then flat back. Whereas the Galaxy S4 has a slight curve, but it's not as comfortable. I'm not saying both phones are uncomfortable. Both of them aren't the most comfortable of held, but they're not bad either. It's just the Nexus 4 is just slightly more comfortable to hold, and they both have plastic backing, so they feel the same. But thanks to the edges, being diagonal at the side, the Nexus 4 is just slightly more comfortable to hold. In terms of gaming performance, I mentioned this already, they're both equal. They're both extremely fast devices. In terms of notification LED light, I go through this in the individual reviews. The LED notification light for the Nexus 4 here at the bottom, which is a lot more clearer and easier to see, whereas the the Galaxy S4 LED notification light pops up here, but it's really faint. So the easier LED notification light to see is easily the Nexus 4. The one on the Galaxy S4 is pretty terrible actually. But I'm going to do a quick speaker comparison right here for you guys right now. Both devices have the speakers at the back, so let me start with the Nexus 4. Exact same video, both of them will have their volume on maximum. I'm going to play the exact same video at the exact same spot from my YouTube channel. So here we go with the Nexus 4 first. Which is a sample picture that came with the phone. I was actually a little disappointed. I was like, wow, okay, that's not that impressive. As soon as I swiped over to this picture, I kid you not, Alright, so you'll notice that it's pretty faint, and when I lifted it up, it's a lot more louder. But let me do the same thing with the Galaxy S4. Just a sample picture that came with the phone. I was actually a little disappointed. I was like, wow, okay, that's not that impressive. As soon as I swiped over to this picture, I kid you not, out loud I said, wow, this thing is... Be quiet, you. Anyway, so you'll notice that both phones, while they're resting on my desk, they were kind of muffled. But when I lifted it up, the Galaxy S4 is still louder. So either way, whether it's resting on a flat surface or when you lift it up slightly, the Galaxy S4 speaker is superior compared to the Nexus 4. Okay, in terms of video playback, both of them can handle HD videos, which are MKV files that are 12 gigs, 1080p, just fine. But the reason the Galaxy S4 will win is obviously because it's a 1080p screen. You're gonna get clearer video quality. So in terms of movie playback, again, the Galaxy S4 wins just because its screen is just so awesome. Okay, so in terms of hard drive and storage space, the Nexus 4 comes in an 8 gig or 16 gig model, and that's it, no external storage. The Galaxy S4 comes in a 16 gig, 32, and 64 gig internal storage model, and then you have support for micro SD external storage, which supports up to 64 gigabytes maximum. So if you have the 64 gig version of the Galaxy S4 and you have a 64 gig card, you can actually have 128 gigs on the Galaxy S4 maximum. But either way, no matter which way you play it, because there's no micro SD card support on the Nexus 4, in terms of storage, the Galaxy S4 wins. Which brings me to my next point, which is the better multimedia device. The Galaxy S4 wins for two reasons. As a multimedia device, both of them are great gaming devices. However, the screen on the Galaxy S4 is better for movie playback, game playback, whatever. Not only that, you have more storage space. You can put more movies, more high graphic games on the Galaxy S4. So as a multimedia device, the Galaxy S4 wins easily. There's not even any real competition right here. Both of them are pretty good as phones because they are phones. We can't forget about that, right? But I have to say that the Galaxy S4 is just slightly better. I noticed that volume is a little bit louder on the Galaxy S4, which is always a good thing. You can increase or decrease the volume, it's up to you. So as a phone, the Galaxy S4 is slightly better, but the Nexus 4 is still pretty good. Now, if you had to ask just my personal choice, this is my personal opinion, which one to get, to me it would be a draw. You see, the Nexus 4 to me is a great device. It's stock Android, it's very clean, it's dirt cheap, and not only that, it's easy to mod. The Galaxy S4 has superior hardware and almost, well, actually it does in every way practically, but it comes with a lot of Samsung exclusive apps. Some of them are cool, but most of them are very useless to me, and it takes up a lot of junk. It's just a really cluttered interface, the Galaxy S4. That's pretty much what it is. So for me, it's kind of a draw, and then of course, it's extremely overpriced. So yeah, if you had to ask my opinion, I would say it's a tie. Now, if you had to ask me which one is the best bang for buck, by far is the Nexus 4. The Galaxy S4 won't win bang for buck because it's just too darn expensive. I noticed that with this release, Samsung overpriced this phone like crazy for no reason at all. I'm pretty sure Samsung knows that this is gonna sell like crazy, so they're like, let's overprice it. It's gonna sell anyway, so whatever. So that's basically my comparison of the Nexus 4 up against the Galaxy S4. I hope I didn't get any words mixed up because I've been saying the word 4 a lot. I guess kind of confusing. But yeah, if you found this video useful, check out my website in the description below. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.